Welcome back to Tri-Tool Technologies. Today we're going to be doing an overview of the small SB clamshell. And this model goes from a 604 all the way up to a 612 SB. It's a split frame design, so you can clamp it on in the run of a pipe in between valves or fittings, or you can leave it bolted together and slide it over the end of a pipe. A couple things we're going to touch bases on today with these machines in that range is we have multiple size tool blocks. And the 3 position, we call them, cover the whole size of the machine range. So this on a 608 would be able to go from 4-inch pipe, 6-inch pipe, and 8-inch pipe. If we had a radial clearance problem, we could jump over here and grab just the 2 position tool blocks, or if we're really tight spaced, a low profile tool block, but it would only accommodate 1 pipe size range. The other thing we want to talk about is we have the options of having fixed pads, which are non-adjustable and they're made for nominal OD pipe. Or if you had pipe that was not nominal OD, we could put on fully adjustable pads and dial the machine in right to the center. So now, after you've chosen what size of machine you needed and your pads that you need, whether fixed or adjustable, next thing you would want to decide is, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to just straight cut or sever the pipe, sever and single bevel one side, or sever and double bevel both at the same time? So the next thing we would do is we have our tripper mechanism right here that will bolt onto the machine, and you'll see later in the video. And you'll notice that the mechanism is driven by the back and protected by this for safety for rotating equipment. So next we would want to talk about an attachment that is available for the small SB clamshells and all of our clamshell series. And this is to do counterboring if you needed to match IDs or get a very round wall thickness. Okay, now we got our machine out. We're going to go ahead and use this 608 SB, and we're going to be mounting it on a piece of 6-inch Schedule 40 pipe. I came to the manual, I came to the page for the 8-inch machine, come across. We're going to go ahead and put fully adjustable pads in this and go ahead and mount on the piece of pipe. Okay, here's my pad for the 6-inch pipe. Go ahead and put that in there. Screwing it all the way down into the pocket. And now we're set it up so we can go ahead and put it on the piece of pipe. And now we got the machine up on the pipe. Just want to mention that the only 3 things you need really is a measuring device, a square, and sometimes a dead blow hammer if you need to tap it around to get it square. You could use a scale to get it centered, but there's only the 3 things you need to get this machine set up besides the hand tools that come with it. Okay, now we're installing our tool bits. You can see I already went ahead and installed one. We're doing a straight sever here. You can do it straight sever. You have options of doing it farther away from the machine or closer. Go ahead and put that in there. Tighten it all up. Now what you want to do with your star wheel wrench that comes with the kit, you're going to go ahead and find the highest spot of the pipe. Even though we centered it, you could have a seam or your ovality out around this could be. So you want to find that highest spot, touch off, bring it back a little bit with your star wheel. And then you're going to take out the backlash and then time it. Okay, the next step will be putting on your tripper pin. That actually feeds the tool block automatically as you rotate with your cutting tools into the pipe. Okay, now we can talk about drive options for the small SBs and a lot of our other series machines. Available is a pneumatic motor or air, electric, hydraulic, or servo drive. Today we're going to be using a pneumatic air motor. When we install it, you can see we can choose different locations. So if there's something in your way obstruction wise, we can just move it around. Talk about the valve that has, so you have RPM control. It also has a dead man switch for safety on the handle. Now that we got our air connected motor on, we went ahead and we have our air caddy, which is a water separator and an oiler and a pressure regulator. We can go ahead and get started cutting this piece of 6-inch Schedule 40 pipe. Okay, with the counterbore module, the way it feeds is as it's rotating, you'll need to hold this knob to feed it in axially. And you just want to hold it every once in a while, kind of like a clutch. If you hold it all the time, it feeds very aggressively. Now we remove our counterbore module and then the block that attaches it on there. Set that off the side. So the application that we're doing, we cut it off straight because we knew we had the counterbore. Get it round, get the ovality out of it so we get a consistent land. Then we're going to bevel it. The other options are, if you don't have the counterbore, you can sever and bevel at the same time, either side towards the machine or away from it, or sever and double bevel both sides at the same time. I'll go ahead and install this bevel bit. This is a 37.5 degree bevel bit. When we do it in this process, we only have to run one tool bit because all we're doing is beveling the end of the pipe. Go ahead and get that installed. Run up and get to the edge. Time the start wheel. It's 3/6 and 9/12. Like that, in that position. And now we're ready. We'll be able to just bevel our pipe. Put in our tripper pin. Go ahead and turn on the air. Use the dead man switch. All right, now that we got our bevel put on there, you can really get a close-up and see how consistent the land is once you do a counterbore, which would be very necessary if you were doing J-preps to get a consistent land. Besides purchasing equipment for Tri-Tool, we also have repair, rental, and services.